how has it helped the child, and how is this method different from the other, and what should I do with my son at home?
What is this House of Children all about?
You cannot think about something which is predefined. It is something which you know that you have to do as per the child, not as per the model. How do you know your child is ready? You are just taking care of the syllabus, I believe, not the child.
What is that equal activities all about?
Take the child from known, what the child can do, to the unknown. We believe that whatever we are giving today is going to be the future preparation for the child. Everyone is talking about reading and writing, but we are not. As Montessorians, we all love challenges. Here, you will not see so much of, show off or all fairy tales and cartoon characters all over, and everyone is, in the world where everyone is saying 1, 2, 3 and reading ABCs, right? And our children are pouring water and mopping the floor. Why did you come and join this course? So my answer was,
Good morning.
good morning.
So today we have Shilpa Agarwal, founder and directors of Nurture Montessori, and also counselor, certified counselor. Thank you for coming to our podcast. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm feeling great and looking forward to this session.
Thank you. Thank you for coming today. Uh, so you are a known person amongst IMTC and AMI, amongst the Montessori world. How did this all happen? From where did this journey start?
Yeah, so this journey, it started when my younger son started going to a Montessori house of children.
Mhm.
That's where I got introduced with Montessori method. Or I would say when he used to come back home after school, I used to ask him, "What did you do today?" So he used to answer that I have worked with the materials.
Okay.
And one fine day, he came back home and he said, "I have worked with stereognostic bags today."
Okay.
And that was the word which stuck in my mind. And I really got curious into what are these materials? How does it help the child? And how is this method different from the other? And what should I do with my son at home? Because it's very different.
Mhm.
So that's where I decided to pursue this Montessori course from IMTC. And I still remember that journey was very beautiful. And each day I used to look forward in the class what is going to unfold today. It
Okay.
is like a magic box for me each day, that how did Dr. Montessori thought about such wonderful things about
Okay.
this age group of childhood. And the whole perspective about the child changed in my eyes. And on the last day, when it was asked by our mentor that why did you come and join this course?
Mhm.
So my answer was, I came here to know what I can do with my son back at home, but now I know what I have to do rest of my life. So
Excellent.
that's how my Montessori journey began.
Okay.
And that is where I went ahead and joined one school. But somewhere the Montessorian within me
Mhm.
was looking for something more.
Okay.
And my husband just said that, okay, you try your own house of children. But I was very confused about that, how to go about it. I have no experience of, running the school, or I really didn't know what needs to be done. But he just said that you try. At least you will not have regret in life that you haven't tried what you wanted to do.
Correct.
Failure or success, it's later.
Yeah.
So that's where it all started.
Okay. So you mentioned a very interesting word, house of children, and you did not mention school or a nursery school or something like that. What is this house of children all about?
So when we call Montessori as a house of children, we know that commonly it is used as a school. Anybody in lay language,
Okay.
they call house of children also as a school. We also use that term sometimes to help the parents to understand.
Okay.
But house of children, when we say, it means that it is a house for the child, of course,
Mhm.
where the things are going to be for the child, and it is going to be in such a way where it is accessible for the child. It's not going to be just there.
Okay.
And they also call us aunties, not ma'ams, or teacher or anybody,
Yeah.
that sort, so that they feel homely.
Okay.
And it is not only their intellect which is taken care at school, or only the academics. It's the overall development which happens there, just like that how the child is at home. But this is much more prepared environment for the child, where they come in and feel at home, and but still learn a lot of concepts.
Okay. We will come to the overall development slightly later.
Mhm.
Uh, my basic question is, whenever somebody wants to start a school,
Hmm.
easiest thing for them to do is approach a franchisee, uh, or approach a very well established school and make a sub part of that school. How did this nurture Montessori thought come to your mind, and why you did not go for a franchisee model or anything like that?
See, as a Montessorian, when you know what this method has to offer a child,
Mhm.
I think you cannot think about something which is predefined. It is
Okay.
something which you know that you have to do as per the child, not as per the model. So this is
Okay.
what the thing is, which was there in my mind, and I just wanted to work with the children the way they are, the way I want to offer the things to them,
Mhm.
and just see the things unfolding in the future. It is a lot of learning for the child, of course, but as well as for the adults, those who are around.
Okay.
Because when we go with the predefined things, we go with the mindset in the classroom. We
Okay.
try to finish those things, we come back, and then like there is no scope for new innovations and discoveries there. That's what my thought process is.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So, when you say, when you said that predefined template, what? So you mean to say Montessori House of Children does not have a predefined template, or so? How is a typical day look like?
Yeah. See, Montessori does not have a predefined template for each day or each month or each year. It is
Okay.
just that uh, we have a guideline from Montessori that what needs to be done for each particular age group for
Okay.
the child, and we need to go as per the child.
Mhm.
If the child is taking a little more time to understand and to repeat something, and he is much interested in a particular material, suppose, so we give them that time.
Okay.
Whereas in predefined material, this template, what happens is that uh, in predefined template, usually things are today you have to do this, tomorrow you have to do this, and day after tomorrow you have to do that. How do you know your child is ready?
Okay.
Maybe the child is sick, maybe the child is not in a mood, maybe the child has just come back from the holidays and he's already thinking about all the happy things what child has done.
Mhm.
Maybe the grandparents that are there at home, and when you are going to do what is there in your syllabus, you are just taking care of the syllabus, I believe, not the child. So
Correct.
that's how it works in Montessori.
Correct. True. True. So you spoke about materials, and that's how you basically got introduced to the Montessori. What are these materials all about?
Yeah. So, materials are the equipments
Mhm.
where the children will do the hands on activities. And these materials are very, very well thought of,
Okay.
scientifically designed, and for all the three age groups from 3 to 6 years of age. Okay.
Okay.
And these materials are largely in four areas. We call it as exercise of practical life, sensorial, language, and arithmetic.
Okay.
Apart from that, we also have zoology, botany, history, geography, much, much, much more to
Okay.
explore the child, to offer to the child.
Okay. Can you give an as an example of EPL activities? What is that EPL activities all about?
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
So you said you have a 4-year-old at home,
Yeah.
isn't it? So have you observed your child whenever the mother is rolling a chapati or
Mm.
brooming, or you are doing something at home, maybe drying some clothes or folding?
Yeah.
Did he ever ask you that I want to do that?
All the time.
All the time, exactly. This is what Dr. Montessori has observed in the children,
Okay.
that children are interested in the activities what we do as an adult around them,
Okay.
and they want to do those activities, they want to repeat those activities. There is a natural urge within them. So that is what was discovered by Dr. Maria Montessori, and she realized that these are very, very important part of child's life, and without these activities, Montessori environment will not be complete. So that's where the exercise of practical life activities are there in the Montessori classroom.
Okay. So, see, my son Advit also goes to a Montessori school, and I also work in a Montessori environment. So I kind of relate to what you're saying. But when I speak this with others, my neighbors and all that, the usual say is, if my child is already doing, let's say, chapati making, or tying shoes or folding clothes. Why should he do that at school? Let him learn something in the school. What do you have to say about it?
See, definitely the child's learning is happening everywhere the child is, whether at home or in the park or at school,
Yeah.
right? So, these exercise of practical life activities, I really applaud those parents who are giving those to the children at home.
Mhm.
They understand the child needs to do it. But my question is it given in the way it is being given in the Montessori house? Because when we give, we make sure that the activity is for that particular age group.
Okay.
The material needs to be of the particular size where the child can handle it properly. There needs to be variety. There are many things which are taken into consideration when we give those activities.
Correct.
Also, if the child is happy and he's content doing only at home, definitely no child will come back and touch in the school, right? Whereas the
Okay.
children love to do those activities again and again at school as well. That shows that there is something within them which is asking them that you have to work on this, isn't it?
Yeah.
And these activities are very, very helpful for these children to improve the concentration and to help them to develop their motor skills, large body movements. They actually judge their work when they work with these activities. Suppose if I'll give you the example of pouring water.
Okay.
So we have some lines defined over there. When we show it to the child, we will tell them that we need to fill only till this line and then we need to stop. So that is where the child will know that, okay, I'm going to fill only till here. And by any chance, if it spills also, the child takes care of that because all the kind of things are provided to the child that how it has to be taken care after it is spilled. And apart from that, I would say that when they do something which they are already interested in, they look forward to more activities
Mhm.
given by the adult in the environment. They feel that connection with the adult, that they allow me to do what I want to do.
Okay.
So when we take them to any other activity, they show the positive response towards that. And the major thing what the child gains with exercise of practical life is independence. As you would see that how important it is in this generation, when in every generation of course, but especially in this, when we all are living in most of us are living in the nuclear family and we have very minimum help and we have to take care of things. And children, when they know how to do their own work, how to take care of themselves, I mean, what else you need in life?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. True. So, see, as a parent, this is the problem I face with the Montessori community, because you mentioned a lot of words like sensorial movements or large body movements and fine motor skills, all that. But if I go to any other school as a parent, they will be telling me about reading, writing. How I am not able to relate these two, because the entire world is talking about reading, writing, rhymes and all that. But here in the Montessori world, we talk about fine motor skills, concentration. We are not even talking about writing. So how is this gap bridged, or what happens here?
Yeah. So in Montessori method, we always take the child from known what the child can do to the unknown. Directly, we do not take them to reading, writing, or things which they are not prepared of. We believe that whatever we are giving today is going to be the future preparation for the child. So if we are giving them exercise of practical life activity or sensorial activities, anything, it is going to be preparing either their hand or their intelligence or their interest towards the things which they are going to do in the future.
Okay.
So when as you asked, everyone is talking about reading and writing, but we are not. I think we know that from where to where we are taking the child, and of course, as you will see the things unfolding as a parent, I'm sure you are going to appreciate this even more. That good that my child did then, so he can do this now.
Yeah. See, that is another thing. I wonder why not everybody is putting their children in a Montessori school rather and going for a uh, any other nursery or school, or franchisee based school. So that even hurts more after knowing this.
I think the people are getting to know slowly,
Okay.
and I would say it is always better to send your child to the school where you are aligned with.
Yeah.
It is like whether it can be Montessori or something else, but the parent first of all needs to be very very aligned with whatever the school is doing. If the parent has enrolled their child in Montessori and they do not know about this method and how the things work, eventually it will not even work for the child.
Correct.
So it's better to know what Montessori is thoroughly and then take a conscious decision of sending a child to a Montessori.
Correct. True. True. Okay, let's talk a bit about Nurture Montessori.
Yeah.
When did you start this? Yes, there was a push from the family to start. How did it all happen? Which year?
Yeah. So it started in 2009 November.
Okay.
And now recently we have completed 15 years of Nurture. And
Congratulations.
thank
Very
you so
nice.
much. Yeah, so it is like, yes, that time it was started, and then things are sailing through with the help of all our staff and the parent support.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have been the founder of Nurture Montessori. How has been your 15 years journey? Was it all smooth or there were challenges? You would like to share some?
Sure. I think as Montessorians, we all love challenges
Okay.
because we take challenges as the opportunity to learn something more. And of course, there are challenges. But I think when your intention is clear,
Mhm.
what you're doing and for whom you're doing, the things get settled soon. And of course, the learning along with that comes. The biggest challenge I would say what I'm facing these days is when I see a child getting addicted to any kind of gadgets, and when I realize that the child can do much much more, but because of certain reasons, the kind of exposure they have towards iPad, laptop, or mobile at home, they are unable to use their potential to the fullest.
Okay.
So that is the biggest challenge I would say in these days I'm facing. And it gets resolved, of course, when we speak to the parents. We let them know about the pros and cons of, I would say only cons, for this age group for the child to get exposed to the gadgets, and how it can hamper the child's development, and what can happen if the child stop watching. Many of them, they understand and they stop it.
Mhm.
Some of them I completely understand, they have their own limitations. Maybe they are working, or they have a lot of work at home, or maybe other things to take care, or maybe lack of time and patience.
Mhm.
But it is always, I request them to see that what is important and what is the most important,
Correct.
right? Is it a child or something else? Because whatever you are going to do in these few years with the child is going to be the part of his life forever.
Correct.
So we need to think about that and then take our decision consciously, that whether today's half an hour is more important where the child is watching, or his lifelong. Some of them do say that only while eating for 20 minutes, only while evening for half an hour, not more than that. Then I have a very interesting question to ask them.
Mhm.
What will happen if you do exercise for half an hour every day? Will it affect your body?
Yes.
Yes, it does. So imagine about the child's brain. And the main thing is here that child can't even say that I don't want to watch. Child will even not
Exactly.
realize
Yeah.
what is happening to the child, right?
True.
So we as an adult, and especially as Montessorians, I think we need to take a stand and speak for the child, and request all the parents that please keep your child away from the gadgets. This is the best thing you can do as a parent in this era.
Correct. See, I'll tell you why I love talking to Montessori community. I asked about what challenges did you face, but it came back to the children and parents, and because I feel in general Montessorians don't feel challenges which they are facing are uh, as challenges, and they are always concentrated on the child and child development. I think that is one beautiful thing with all the Montessori and Montessori community.
I agree with you because I think Montessori has asked us, or maybe I would say, showed us the path where it leads to the child and child only.
Correct, correct. Yes, just coming back to Nurture Montessori again. Sorry, I'm pulling you back there.
No, that's perfectly.
Would you like to share some challenges and how you overcome those challenges?
So far, I would say the biggest challenge was when the pandemic hit.
Okay.
As you know, that suddenly the schools were shut down and children were not able to come back to the school, and we were like, what are we going to do?
Mhm.
uh, because this is mainly a hands-on work what child does and learn.
Correct.
uh, but one thing was very clear in my mind, that we are not going to start any online classes for the children.
Okay.
That's where I have sent out the message to the parents saying that we will not be able to start any of the online classes, but we will come up with some solution. Those who would like to leave can definitely take their decision and leave. I have no problem, but I really don't know what am I going to do next.
Okay.
So some of them did, because of course they were worried about their child's future. But surprisingly, many of them, they just stuck with us. I would say stay with us, not stuck.
Mhm.
They stayed with us because they really wanted to see that what are we coming up with. They had that trust. And that was the time. It was really, very challenging for me. I was thinking, what am I going to do next? I have no idea. I've just told that no screens, but what's next?
Yeah.
So that's where I think, I started thinking that what would have happened when Dr. Maria Montessori would have been there?
Okay.
How she would have guided us.
Hmm.
So that's where this idea came. Okay, if children cannot come to nurture, nurture can go to each child's house.
Wow.
Let's see how to do it. So that's where we started just making the material, seeing how we'll come up with. And you won't believe, each material we'll come up with, we will just hold and we'll be so happy. Wow, the child is going to work with that.
True. True.
And the parents supported tremendously. I mean, their support was really, really huge, because whatever we used to send home, or however we used to guide them, they used to guide the child in turn, and the children's learning didn't stop. I would say at some point of time it happened more, because children had all the access to the EPL and sensorial and everything at home.
Correct.
Whatever they could.
Correct.
And yes, then next year, when again the schools were closed, and that's where we started realizing that children are definitely learning, but they are missing their friends and the aunties. So we started just 40 minutes for in a week for the children, so that they can get connected. Those activities also were planned, where they will not sit in front of the screen, they will do something else while they are sitting together. So I think that was the challenge, and the whole Montessori world. That's how we all come out of that, and
Very nice.
we had a
It's so nice that you just spoke about not giving gadgets to the children, and you led it with an example during COVID. I think we should all appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for doing
much.
it. So you said parents were very cooperative, and you guided them how to use the materials during COVID. You prepared materials and sent it to them and all that. How do you manage parents who are skeptical about Montessori method? How what like if you have to share any examples, what would that be?
Yes, anything new, when anyone tries, definitely they'll be little doubtful about whether it's going to work or not work, and
Yeah.
is it really they'll do what they're saying, or is it like something else? And especially when you have so many different options,
Yeah.
and you have to choose from, so that doubt is very, very natural, and I do understand that. So first of all, I help them to understand what Montessori method is all about.
Okay.
And if it is again aligned with their parenting, definitely they can go ahead and choose.
Okay.
And I allow them to ask as many as questions they can, so that they are taking again a conscious decision about the child, because this decision is going to be very, very important in child's life, where you are
Correct.
sending your child. And changing the place again and again, it doesn't work for the child, isn't it?
Sure.
Not for us, not for the parents, and definitely not for the child.
Mm.
So definitely when they come to our house of children, or they go to any house of children for that sort, those who are following the Montessori method, their questions automatically starts getting answered. Their faith in Montessori gets firm day by day,
Okay.
and that's how it works, I think.
So many parents would not even know the term Montessori.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And also, Montessori is not a franchise or a patented brand or anything like that. I was reading it in some book. I can open a donut shop and call it as Montessori,
Oh.
right? So it's not anybody can use Montessori. How do parents know that this is authentic Montessori? Like what are those top 3 or 5 things they should look for in a Montessori house of children?
Yeah. First thing I would say, whether
Hmm.
the school is recognized or not as a
Okay.
Montessori, then you can have a visit to the school.
Who will recognize it,
So,
sir?
for us, IMC, Indian Montessori Center, they
Okay.
recognize the school, they will have a visit. They will look for certain parameters which we are following as a Montessori house of children,
Okay.
and then they give the recognition. And if those parameters are not met, definitely the recognition is not being given.
Okay.
So that is the one thing I would say that parents to look for, that whether the school is recognized or not.
Okay.
And after you shortlist those schools which are recognized, you visit them, you see their environment, how it works, and how they have displayed the materials, how the adults are there, what are the safety measures, what are the measures for the hygiene taken. You speak with the directress, you talk about the Montessori curriculum, how does it work with the child. And also, I would suggest the parents to go to those Montessori houses of children or those Montessori schools wherein, they would have used the term Montessori, and look at their environment and then take a decision again, like which one did you see that they follow Montessori and which do not.
Correct.
So, and the best thing, you talk to the parents, you
Mhm.
get to know their opinion about that particular school, what they have to say, and then choose the school amongst those.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any tips for first time parents? Because you said if Montessori philosophy aligns with their philosophy, I, as a parent, don't know. I don't have any philosophy. So,
Hmm.
how would I know if it aligns with my philosophy? How you have anything to say about that?
I would say that, see, nobody will think about the philosophy and then follow as a parent, especially because there is no manual for the parents.
Correct.
Everyone tries to do their best as a parent for the child, isn't it?
Correct.
So, when I say you are aligned with it or not, I mean to say that the way things will happen in a Montessori house of children
Okay.
and the way you want your child to develop. Because here you will not see so much of, show off or all fairy tales and cartoon characters all over, and everyone is, trying to talk about things which are not real, isn't it?
Okay.
So if you feel grounded as a parent and you want to give the reality to your child and you want to bring them up with those kind of values and principles what Montessori follows, then definitely it is for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said Nurture Montessori is a 15-year-old organization. Do you have any? Are you in touch with your first student, or the from the earlier years of Nurture Montessori?
Yes, definitely. And it is my such a big pleasure that the first child in Nurture,
Mhm.
in fact, there were two children on the first day of Nurture.
Okay.
In that, one child, he was my friend's son who has introduced Montessori to me.
Okay.
So that is something which is very special to me. And there was another parent. They came and they just inquired, and I said that I started school by November. I planned to start by January, but they came. They said, "No, we are sending our child from tomorrow."
Okay.
So yeah, that's how it started, and I am in touch of both of them still.
How are they doing in life?
They are doing wonderful. I see them very confident, and yeah, one child, he is like every now and then I keep meeting.
Okay.
The other child I meet very rarely, but as far as I know, that he is also doing very well, and they are quite confident and they are doing good.
Okay. So Nurture Montessori is around 15 years old, and you are catering to children from 2 to 6 years.
Yes, 2 to 6 years.
2 to 6
yes.
years. Where do you see Nurture Montessori in 5-10 years time?
Where it is right now,
Okay.
helping the children for
Okay.
their holistic development and respecting them, what is much required,
Okay.
and yeah, helping them to be independent
Okay.
and learning from them in turn.
So what happens to them after 6 years when they transition to traditional school?
Mhm.
Or do they transition to traditional school, or they choose elementary Montessori? How what is your experience, or how is your interaction with the parents
Mhm.
on those lines?
There are mixed, parents. Some of them who are very clear that they are going to choose a elementary school after our Montessori, and they want to continue in this method because, of course, the faith what they have got and the development what they have seen here, they want to continue with that.
Okay.
But again, as you know, the elementary method definitely now people are getting aware of, but still it might take a little more time for people to really know that what elementary has to offer to the child.
Okay.
And once they know, it becomes very easy for them again to have that trust and to send the children there.
Correct.
I do suggest them that before choosing a traditional school, please go visit once, see what they have to offer, talk to them again, and then see what is best for your child and yourself. I see that some of them choosing and really going ahead. Some of them who really wants to choose it, but still they are little worried about that. How is it going to be till 10th standard? Then what my child will do? So these are the things which I think hold them back. But still, it has a long way to go. But still, I would say that people are getting to know about elementary Montessori, and it has a bright future.
So you mentioned a very interesting point that people are getting to know about Montessori, elementary Montessori especially. What do you think institutions like Dewdrops should do so that most of them are aware of elementary Montessori? Whether they send their children or not send their children, that's a different story. At least they are aware of elementary Montessori. What do you think institution like or any institution who has an elementary Montessori should do?
Yeah, I think this is the wonderful initiative which you have taken.
Mhm.
Through this media, also, you can convey to the parents what elementary Montessori is. And also, you can have some open houses. I'm sure even Dewdrops does, and many Montessori, they do the open house and invite the parents to show their environment, to show what you have to offer to the child, and talk to the parents. That is the best thing, I would say.
Okay.
And again, the parents, those who have been part of your Montessori, taking their testimonials and sharing it with the other people, I think that also will be a good idea for the parents to again gain that trust and to have belief in this method.
Correct. So, in this entire Montessori journey, parents play a extremely vital role because of the method, and also some parents are spectacle, and also they see their neighbor children's. They will be reading, writing so many things. Uh, can you share one or two incidents if you have where parents were spectacle and you handhold them through the journey of 3 or 4 years and they were happy? Were there, would you like to share some incidents on that?
Definitely, I have many incidents
Okay.
wherein parents were doubtful in the initial few months, and then they have got that confidence. Especially as you say, in the world where everyone is reading 1, 2, 3, we saying 1, 2, 3 and reading ABCs, right? And our children are pouring water and mopping the floor. So definitely, I understand that parents will be skeptical about the method,
Mhm.
but within few months, I see them trusting the method,
Okay.
trusting what we are doing, and moreover trusting the child will be able to do it.
Okay.
And if I have to share a few example,
Mhm.
not that parents had a doubt or anything, but yes, what child can do. We introduce multiplication in our environment through the material, and it is given to the child to understand the mechanism of multiplication. There was a child to whom we have introduced multiplication, and children have freedom in the classroom where they can take a book and they can write whatever they would like to. This child has taken a notebook and randomly he started writing 18 taken once is 18, 18 taken twice is this much, 18 taken 3 times is this much, 18 taken 4 times is. I just stood there and watching that child. What is he going to do next?
Mm.
Can you believe he reached till 18 taken 18 times
Wow.
without any mistake? I mean, this is the potential of the child we need to believe in. This is the Montessori method which can offer and which can nurture the child potential to this level. So that is something which I would like to say to all the parents, that please give them some time to unfold and have a trust in what the Montessori House of Children is trying to do and what your child can do. And we just need little support from their end, definitely, because the school alone cannot do everything. The child is with us maybe for part of a day, or more than maybe some 200 days in a year, isn't it? Rest of the time child is at home.
True.
So again, I would say, if you are aligned with us, everything can be possible.
Very true. Very true. So we are almost at the end of our podcast. Would you like to give one or two tips to parents so that they prepare themselves as well as their children for a Montessori environment? What would that be?
Uh, if I have to give one or two tips, I would say not only for the Montessori environment, because Montessori herself has told that this education is aid to life. So it is about child's life. The first and the best thing in this age, as I already told, a parent can do is keep your child away from all sorts of gadgets.
Yeah.
And second thing, I would say that give them as many as hands-on activities possible at home and wherever it is possible. Try to give them the realistic things in and around, and just believe in your child, respect them, give the freedom, but along with the guidance.
Okay. 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 Uh, and we are at the final question. You had an incredible journey, 15 years journey. You would like to thank somebody. I think you can take this opportunity to thank them. With that, maybe we can end the podcast.
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. Thank you for asking it. Definitely, first of all, I would like to thank Almighty for showing me this path. Then all my mentors who have been, I would say that, incredible part of this journey, from where I have learned all this. Then my family and friends, of course. And I would say that I come from a very traditional background. And the way my father-in-law has supported me and my journey, it is like truly commendable, because it's not easy for a housewife to come out and do certain things when the family doesn't support. And also, I would like to thank all the parents, those who have put their trust in us and the children. Why? Because while we were, I think, helping them to learn, we have learned a lot from them.
True, true, true. Nice. Thank you so much for being part of this podcast. I hope this reaches lots and lots of parents, and we will see how they take it up. Thank you. Thank you
Thank you
so
so much
much.
for having me here today. I'm honored. Thank
Thank
you.
you.